mic line. What that mean, man? Hold up, bro. Hold up, man. Let me get me some hand sanitizer, bro. I can't be on this show. I can't be doing this show without no hand sanitizer, bro. I can't do it. Is it 60%? That's what they said, man. 60%, bro. Let me see. Oh, we good. We got 70%, bro. We good. All right, let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do. Ah! Hey, man, make sure y'all put that hand, look, I'm putting the hand sanitizer on. Make sure y'all put some hand sanitizer on. Hey! I'm going to do this video, man. I hope I can get some taping going in this mug, man. I hope we get some taping in this mug, boy. Let's see what we got here, man. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. I'm going to see if this mug works, dog. Man, look at me, man. You ain't tell me I have my shirt all open like goddamn Isaac Hayes.
I thought you were trying to be super fly.
You know what I'm saying?
I thought you
No, let me open it. Look. Look at Look, dog. Look, man. I'm just... Dog, I look, dog. I said, no, you ain't say that. Hold up, bro. Hold up, man. I'm like, I looked down at the thing. I said, man, what the heck? Man, I can hear my mom say, nigga, button that shirt up. I was like, oh, heck no, bro. I'm so busy trying to put on my hand sanitizer. Oh, wait a minute. Hold up, man. I can't be touching this microphone, bro. Hold up, bro. Hey, man, you ain't got no gloves in here. We ain't touching it. Look. Hey, man. Hey, man, look. Hand sanitizer. Look. You know what, man? Next thing you know, we gonna have that shower going. Hey! Hey! Good evening. Hey, boy. Hey, man, this right here, ain't too many more of these shows going down, bro, because, hey, boy. Let me give him some more of this hand sanitizer. Hey, but if you touch the hand sanitizer, do that mean, hold on, bro, you gotta touch that one like this, that one like that, that one like that. I ain't seen you use this stuff since I've been here, man.
Once you rub your hands together, they're gonna kill all this stuff anyway. You gotta understand.
Kill all what?
Well, that corona that's on you.
Man, what? Man, don't even talk like that, man. Oh, man, don't play like that, bro. You know us, man. We know we scared. Don't play like that. You know what I'm saying? You better got into a fight, man. Playing like that, man. Don't play like that, man.
Stop it.
Don't play, man. Don't play like that. Last time I played like that, I got the call. I'm playing like that on the third. Right on this show. Mm-hmm. Playing around like that, and then what happened? I get the call. God darn. You got darn. You want to be a millionaire. I got that call. So you want to be a millionaire. Oh, man. Good evening, good evening, good evening. What? Good evening, good evening, good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Oh, man. I'm the host of the Daily Bread. Wait a minute. How did that go? Good evening, good evening. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Where's the script, bro? Where the teleprompter? Good evening. Let me read it. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Oh, good evening, good evening, good evening. I'm your host, Joaquin Thompson Sr., coming to you live from Little Burnt, Georgia. Little Burnt, Georgia, right outside of Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? And
a stone throw.
Man, and for those, I always have to start the show off the same way. A lot of people that are joining the show for the first time. So if you joining the show for the first time, why my microphone ain't on, bro?
Well, your microphone is on loud.
My microphone ain't on, man.
You don't need no microphone.
Man, I can't be, man, hold up, bro. I can't be touching all this stuff, bro. Look, man. I'm your host, Joaquin Thompson Sr., and this show, if you joined it for the very, 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 very first time, this show is about financial literacy. And we do this show based on financial literacy, but we do it from a spiritual perspective. What does that mean? That means this. We only do one thing on this show. We only do one thing on this show. And if you see me do like this, that means God. That's it. We don't do nothing else. So we don't do religion. I forgot to say that part. We don't do religion. I'm gonna say it again. We don't do religion on the Daily Bread. So, oh man, what a week, bro. Just getting that out the way. Last week was episode 143. This 144. Man, last week I said I don't even want to talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
I said that right on the show, man. I said, man, I don't even want to. I want to talk about something different.
Ain't no getting around.
I said I don't want to talk about this.
Ain't no
And
getting
then we ended up talking about it, right?
Yes, sir.
And now I can't talk about nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like,
Ain't no
oh man, NBA season,
Elephant in the room, brother.
basketball, Final Four was coming to Atlanta. Well, I had it all worked out. Chicken sandwiches, gonna call home, cornbread, we're gonna come down and do the nuggets. We had, Why, you know,
them big sandwiches he do make.
them big gigantic sandwiches, man. I'm gonna have cornbread come down with them gigantic sandwiches. We gonna do the final. We were gonna make us some money. No more Final Four, man. They said they gonna play the Final Four with Gladys Knight chicken and waffles.
Yep. On the big screen.
They gonna be down at Gladys Knight. No, they said they gonna be at the Ben Hill Recreation Center. So they gonna play the Final Four over there at Ben Hill Recreation Center. Can't nobody come in. But so no Final Four, no NBA, no college basketball,
Nothing.
no MLS soccer,
Nothing.
no nothing, man.
Boxing, gone.
Who?
Boxing.
Boxing?
Yep.
Boxing?
MMA? Mm-mm.
Boxing? MMA?
No.
Bruh, but listen, man, listen. I mean, I ain't want to talk about it again this week. But just like last week, man, I feel the same way I felt last week. And I'm glad that we do these shows and everything's recorded. And you all can call in the number to the station, 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. Look, we got it up. Look, 678-381-1973. That was just to remind everybody, for the people who couldn't, look, 678-381-1973. Now, you would go get you your own little...
Ain't that beautiful?
Nah, bro, what about... Dog, I've been putting these up here every week, man. What? So you ain't gonna just say, hey, man, that's like going to get food and don't even... Hey, man, I'm going to get some new signs. Do you want to get yours done while then we could probably get a deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got yours, you got two, I got one. Maybe we can do that. Why you ain't even call me? You call me about everything else. Why you ain't call me with that? Hey! Hey! Look at this. Financially cool. Ooh. Ooh. So you don't call me on that, bro. Well, you being just like the goddamn.
Here's what you got to do.
You being just.
Man, educate the people, man.
I'm glad you're being
Educate
honest,
the people,
bro.
man.
I'm glad you're being
Educate the
honest.
people.
I am educating.
Teach them something.
I'm teaching them something. I've been in here 144 times.
Mm-hmm.
You go out and get a brand new sign,
Let me ask you a question.
and then leave my joints like that.
Let me ask you a question. Let's go back to the beginning. How did you get those two signs right there?
What you mean? How I got? Okay. Where they come from? Did you know Alan, or did I bring Alan? Did Alan come to my show? Did Alan come to my show with cornbread? These two signs.
Hold on.
These two. Right there. Where you come from?
How did you get those signs?
How did I get them?
Yeah.
What you mean how I get them?
Because I initiated the conversation and talked to the man about signs like this, and that's how you got your sign.
Man, you done lost your mind. Man,
Oh, so
you done lost your mind,
you
man.
you started the conversation about the sign.
Man, you done lost your man. Are you serious? Are you joking?
Do I have any talent off the top of my head?
Man, are you serious or you joking? You ain't even know Alan. How you don't know the man and then you initiate the conversation when he coming to my show?
No.
How you do that?
My thing is right here. Yes, he came to your show.
Did you know him? Did you know him? Did you know
They ain't
him?
got nothing to do with that.
Did you know the man?
They ain't got nothing to do with
If
it.
you don't know the man, how you gonna do that?
Who initiated the conversation about signs? You ain't talk about no signs. You ain't talk about now
I'm
signs.
glad. Look, see, look,
You ain't
man.
talk about now signs. Not now. Here's what
Alright.
you got to do.
So that's a lesson for y'all.
Hold on.
You be in partnership with a joker. Look,
Who called me?
partnership, and they go do something like I'm like, man, come on, bro, you serious? But it does look good, man.
My daughter might be having a baby.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Hello? Okay. And so,
Hey, well,
but now we're going back to, I guess the business at hand, man. It's like, a friend of mine was just talking about in, what did he say? Ohio. They already canceled school for 3 weeks. I think they're going to do the same thing in Georgia and in other states. But I mean, I'm a healthcare professional. I went out on the CDC. I had to go to the CDC web page, and I would encourage you to do the same thing, man. Go to the CDC so that way you'll be educated about it, because it's I mean, it's worth you getting educated. And the CDC, to me, the CDC is like the source of truth. So at least that way, you know, they already working in that space. They doing things in that space. So, I mean, that would be my advice to you because right now to me, man, I think, and this is just my personal opinion, like I said last week, man, I believe, you know, in my house, me and mine, my wife Tanya, my daughter Ashley, my son Joaquin, my daughter Nia. In my house, man, in my house, we're going to praise the Lord. Anything outside of that, I mean, the media, man, they just, I don't know, man. But I don't know if it's because I'm a healthcare professional or I've been in healthcare, but it's a lot of cases, a lot of things that has a whole lot higher mortality rate than what we're seeing. And the thing about it is, I think I would be more concerned if people was like, and I know some people, and I'm not being disrespectful about the people who passed away, right? So I am being respectful of them as well. But I mean, people who have it, people are like self-quarantining, or people, you know, getting treated. And the biggest thing is they saying it's so low, but the thing they are coming on and saying is like, even though people are getting, he was like, they tell a big story, but then the backstory is people are recovering. The dude said it's so low, he said, yeah, the best thing is people are recovering. People are recovering, right? So yeah, you might have the flu, or if you got some other ailments, that might exacerbate, you know, your experience with it, but for the most part, I mean, people are recovering, so that's why I'm being optimistic about it. I know a lot of other people, you got people working in the hospitals. Think about this. You know, they setting up tents, because a lot of people that are coming, and let me tell y'all something about the hospital. And this is something that a lot of people don't realize. The hospital is the worst place to go if you're sick.
Yep.
If you're sick, right? I'm not talking about if you are having a heart attack, or you can't breathe, or you had a stroke. Yeah, hospital, no doubt. But if you got a real bad cold, if you got flu-like symptoms, bruh, in the hospital, the only thing they can do is give you fluids, give you some IVs if you need it, and then they give you some antibiotics. Your doctor could prescribe that. But going to the hospital, that's like you going to the war zone. It's more things in the hospital than in your house, I would hope. So, I mean, that's just my thing, man. So, I'm just telling people the same conversation I had last week, man. Just, you know, my prayer is that this is short-lived, that as the temperatures continue to rise, we get through springtime, get into the summer, that it dies out like influenza. And I'm hoping that it don't just continue to, you know, spread and get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and affect more and more and more people. Because the other thing that's really starting to happen, and we talked about this last week, because this is a show about what? It's about financial literacy. So if you've been watching the markets this week, now I'm gonna give you all, now we're gonna switch gears, we're gonna go into financial literacy. If you don't have one of these, this is a pen. You don't have a pen, and every time I come on here, I have a pen and something to write with. I'm gonna hit a few topics that going through this period is really highlighting several different topics that we've talked about on the Daily Bread. Just going through this period. Now, last week, what did we talk about? We talked about last week was the what ifs. Like, what if they do close the school? What about the cafeteria? What about the people that work in the cafeteria? What about the people working in the front office? What about the bus drivers? Okay, so we'll use the case, which I'm thinking is going to be the commonplace for a lot of different states, right? Let's just use, if the schools close in your area, so we're gonna use that one first. So we're gonna tie that to financial literacy. So the first one is, okay, school closings. So let's think about this. So if the school closed, what is that gonna do? So if all of the kids are at home, what does that mean? That means what? You're gonna go through more food, right? We're gonna start right there, because you gotta go back and look at what's called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So if you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, with Maslow, Abraham Maslow, he was a behaviorist. And what he talked about is the way that we behave based on the different scale that we're on when you look at his hierarchy of needs. So the first thing you got to have is what? First thing you got to have is food, right? So the hierarchy is what? Food, clothing, and then shelter, right? Them the first three. So the school closed. Now you got all the kids in your school district are at home, right? So that means what? That means more food because they at home all day. And what is kids, especially teenagers? The little kids are finicky. They'll eat some little bit of this, little bit of teenagers, high school students, and college students. Because we just talked about that. Georgia State's closing the dorms. If Georgia State closes the dorms, where the kids going? All of the kids that's away in college, where they going? They're going back home. So you got kids at home. So the food is going to increase, right? What else is going to increase? Your bills are going to increase.
Electric bill going up.
What's going up? Electric bill going up?
Electric bill going up.
Is electric bill going up?
Way up.
Electric bill going up. What else going up? 'Cause now you burning the AC.
Yep.
Oh, it's so hot. Oh, it's so cold. Oh, it's so this. Oh, it's so okay.
Doors open and closed. You gotta work it hard.
Okay, so your utilities, so everything that went up, right? All your utilities, so I'm gonna just draw an arrow like that. All your utilities just went up, right? Food costs, I'm gonna just draw an arrow going up, right? Your food costs that went up. What else that went up? What's going down? Income. So let's talk about income, right? So even though you may say, well, I don't work at the school. Okay, you don't work at the school, but guess what's coming next? Everybody that has the potential to work at home are gonna be working at home. But even if you don't have the potential to work at home, say like you, they was talking about this today on CNBC. Say if you're in the food service industry, you work at, you work in a fast food business or you work at a restaurant. Say my favorite restaurant, Houston's. Say you work at Houston's. Guess what? People ain't going out to eat. People not going out to eat, right? So if they're not going out to eat, what is that doing? That means companies, most companies, their margins are already thin. It ain't no huge profit margin in a lot of different companies. The profit margins are thin. That means what? Yeah, you might say, oh, we generated $3 million. But your net, after you don't pay all your expenses, all your taxes, all everything, your net might only be like 3 or 5%. It's like this. It's small. So if you're running a restaurant, I ain't even talking about small businesses. Think about if you're running a small business, any type of small business, especially if you're in the food industry, right? Just that quick, I just thought about one of my partners, man. Has a great business, but he's in the food industry. And what does he supply? He supplies food to the schools. He supplies food to the schools. So what is that going to do? The kids ain't at school. So if the kids ain't at school, what are they going to need? The kids don't need food at school. That's a wrinkle, man. This is March. So if they're going to be out 3 weeks, that's a whole month. Some people can't go a month without income.
That's a lick.
Some people, man, listen, that's what we've been talking about on this show from day one. Some people cannot go 1 month, 30 days without income. Why? Because it was already tight, right? So you was already kind of juggling, like, hey, can I make a payment arrangement? Hey, can I? One thing that's not going to stop is the utility company. You think Georgia Power will be like, nah, you ain't got to pay. Hopefully they will come in and the government put some kind of pressure on them and say, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, we're going to give y'all a pass, or we're going to give you a buffer, we're going to give you something. But these are all the things that, as people are watching these media stories, I don't think people are thinking about what I call a backstory from a financial literacy standpoint. So now you got school closing, NBA, right? Think about how many things were affiliated with the NBA. You got the limo drivers, you got the people the chartered planes, you got the chartered buses, you got the trainers, you got the the people who take the pictures, the memorabilia, and you got the arena itself. If 70,000 people don't come to the arena, or 20,000 in the case of the NBA, if 20,000 people don't come, that's 20,000 less hot dogs, 20,000 less sodas, all of that parking revenue. You know how you pay that, what, $35 a park,
Yes,
$25 a park? All that's gone. It's gone. Are we, I mean, it's easy to say, yeah, we, you know, and it's for public safety. I get that. So this is not that. So we ain't talking about that conversation. I get it's public safety. But this show is about financial literacy. So what I'm trying to do is get you to just be thinking through this as we go through this process. So that way, you will be knowledgeable, you'll be aware of what's going on around you. Buckle down. I thought about it just like because in healthcare, one of the things that I equated to is like when a body goes into shock, right? If you ever around somebody when they go into shock, like if they go into hypothermia and go into shock, if they go into something where it's like, you know, they have an illness and they go into shock, you know, you hear people about being septic, you know, they got some kind of bacteremia, you know, and they get blood, you know, some kind of blood-borne illness. If your body goes into shock, the first mechanism that goes into play is what? All of the blood in your body. Listen to this. Your body has an automatic built-in system where it says, if it reads that you're going into shock, and this is a financial shock that we're talking about here, right? If your body goes into shock, what happens to the blood flow? The blood will stop going to your hands and to your feet, and it'll only go to your vital organs. When you go into shock, it'll only go to your vital organs. Vital, meaning the organs that is needed to sustain life, not your kidneys, because you don't need kidney immediately to sustain life. You need your heart, and you need your head, and you need your lungs, right? So all of those other organs, they start getting depleted of blood. When you talk about a financial shock like we getting ready to go through here, all of this going out, all that stuff don't even, just think about 2 weeks ago, people was thinking about, oh, I'm gonna buy a new car. Think about car sales. People ain't going out buying no car. People ain't going to buy no car.
I don't want no car.
You don't want no car?
They don't want no car now.
Now, who want a car now?
Nobody.
Okay, so what is that gonna do?
They want some groceries.
What is that gonna do? So we ain't buying cars. What else we not gonna be buying? We buying like going to the mall. Everybody going to the mall, all them people. I don't want to be around them people. So yeah, you can get stuff on Amazon, but it's gonna be a ripple effect from an economic standpoint based on this health issue that we're dealing with, man. It's a serious, I'm taking it serious from that standpoint, just from a health issue. I'm definitely taking it serious. I'm not taking that lightly. I mean, I joke about the hand sanitizer and that kind of stuff, but it's to the point now where it's like we need everybody to be prudent. But what I need you all to be, you know, is being, you know, viewers of the Daily Bread. Just be thinking strategically, right? Because people are saying, hey, you need this, and you don't want to be in no panic mode, but at the same time, you know, let this be, you know, almost like a wake-up call, you know. 401ks. How many times I'm writing that down. Let me talk about 401ks. Okay. You got the 401k, and then we had, I'm not gonna bring Chris on now, but I'm gonna talk about it. We have had we had two different people to come on and talk about the infinite banking system, right? The infinite banking system. Some people call it the infinite banking concept. So let me tell you about infinite banking. That's where the short version is, there's a vehicle and a mechanism that you can use. You can buy permanent whole life insurance and you can invest money into the policy. It's not an investment vehicle, it's a life insurance policy, right? But when you put your money into it, it has what's known as a dividend. It has a dividend paying model, meaning every year if the insurance company makes money, then they pass on those dividends to you, right? So you may get a 3% dividend, you may get a 4% dividend, which a lot of people might say, oh, inflation is at 5%. Okay, that's fine. 3%, 4% compounded over time. But your money is in this vehicle. In the event that you needed some money, in the unlikely in the unlikely event that you need some money, hint, hint, you could go to this policy and tap it. Meaning you could go in, you could call people and say, hey, can you wire X number of dollars to such and such account? Here's the benefit of it in comparison to a 401k. It's a lot of people right now that were going to retire in 2020. They've been waiting for this. This is their 65th birthday. This is their 70th birthday this year, right? In 2020, this is their birthday. This is the year that they plan to retire. 2020. I'm out in April. I'm out in March. I'm out in June. I'm out. I'm retiring this year. Or I'm retiring next year, 2021. Or I'm retiring year after next, 2022. My 401k, because I've been going to my financial planner, my 401k is worth $400,000, right? Your 401k just this week, 1 week, in 1 week, it ain't even over. Today's Thursday. Between Monday and Thursday, your 401k went from $400,000 to $300,000 in 1 week. And it could go even lower because the stock market is starting to correct itself. Now, if you're getting ready to retire, that's $100,000. It could be $150,000, or we could be like in 2008. You could, when all of the dust settles, you could be down to half of that. You could be back down to $200,000. It was worth $400,000. Now it's only $200,000. What does that mean? You was getting ready to stop working, but now you don't have $400,000. You got $200,000. Had you, and this is hindsight is 2020, and I'm speaking to anybody that's looking for an investment that you can guarantee the money. Look into the infinite banking system. The author of the book is R. Nelson Nash. Let me tell you the benefit. Say that same scenario. Say the person had invested $400,000 into their life insurance program, right? Where they have access to $400,000, right? When the stock market starts going down and you're going to retire this year, same person, hey, I'm retiring. I'm retiring this year, or I'm going to retire next year, or I'm going to retire the year after. That same $400,000 that you had in that policy that you had access to, it's guaranteed. They put that on the policy. And you can look this up, research it. It's guaranteed to be there. It's guaranteed. It's not tied to the stock market. It's guaranteed money. It's guaranteed. It's just sitting there. So $400,000 might be too big. So you might say, well, I'm talking about something even like $10,000. You might have your 401k might only been at $50,000 or $60,000 or $100,000. Your $100,000 401k just went to $50,000. You just lost $40,000 this week. You just lost $40,000 this week. So on the Daily Bread, I'm trying to just give you information that just make you think. Like just, man, I wonder if it's another way for me to do this. Yeah, infinite banking system. Just Google it. The guy's name who's the author and the pioneer of that process, his name is R. Let me write that down. R. Nelson Nash. So just Google him. R. Nelson Nash. And see what you can do, because it still ain't too late, because even when we come out of this, that's the time to put some things in place. So it happened in 1987. It happened in 2001. It happened in 2008. It happened in 2011. And now this is 2020, right? So if you live another 10 years, is it likely that we may have a similar downturn in the next 10 years? Yeah. If you're going to retire within the next 20 years, is it a likelihood that you may we may have this same instance? You know it's going to happen in a 20-year time period. A lot of times it's happening in 10-year cycles. 2001, 2008, 2011. 11 to 20, that's 9 years. That's a 9-year run. People knew that this was going to happen. That's why people were starting to talk about, oh, we on the verge of a recession. Oh, you don't have to be Nostradamus to figure that out. You know, if you running for a certain period of time, it's just gonna go up and up and up and up, and then something's gonna come along. Whether it's this time it's a health issue. 2001, it was the .com bubble burst. 2008, it was the mortgage housing crisis, right? It's gonna be something else in 2025, 2026, 2028, 2029, 2030. So what I'm trying to do is get you, again, put some things in place where that way you can help to fortify bulletproof yourself so that way when you do need the money, when you do need access to capital, what's going to happen right now? Houses are going to get real cheap. How do you know houses are going to get real cheap? Just watch what's going on. The Federal Reserve, which is not tied to the government, but it's called federal. The Federal Reserve Bank, right? Federal Reserve Bank, the early part of last week, I want to say it was like Monday or Tuesday, they said we're doing an emergency. This is before all of this really popped off. People still playing in the NBA. People still trying to get to March Madness. Schools, well, all of this was still going on. When I first heard that, when the Federal Reserve came in and said, hey, we're going to do an emergency cut in the interest rate by 0.5 point. That's huge. That's huge. When they said that, the first thing came to my mind was like, oh, shoot. Something about to pop off. When I first heard that, I was like, oh, man, that's kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like when I was a kid, you've been out doing something you know you weren't supposed to be doing, and I would come around the corner. If I came around that corner, if I came around Brazil Road, if I came around Brazil and hit Clyde Drive and made a right, and I thought the whole time what I was doing, I'm like, oh, I'm doing this, my mom ain't gonna be home. If I came around that corner and I seen that car in the driveway, I was like, I thought she said she was gonna be at work. I thought she said she was gonna be at work. And if I seen that car, I went from walking fast to like, oh.
The spit about to hit the fan.
I started.
Spit about to hit the fan, baby.
Man, it was the same thing when the Federal Reserve said we cut the interest rate by 0.5 point. The only reason they cut interest rates is to do what? Why do you make something cheaper? It's to incentivize spending. You have to have a balance. You have to incentive. So if everything's going down, right, you have to get to a point where people have the confidence to start spending again. Because what's going to happen, everything is going to contract. Because that's what we've been talking about, right? Food costs, utilities, going out to eat, everything is going to contract. And people are going to be like, man, I ain't going out. Man, I'm not traveling. The travel industry. I looked at CNBC. All of them cruise lines, 40%. They stopped all of them. 38% drop. 40% drop. I'm talking about in the last 2 weeks. 40% drop. Norwegian, Carnival, all the rest of them, right? It's a sign. So if you ever see if the Fed drop an interest rate, you need to be like, boy, I'm glad I got my money in this infinite banking system, because guess what? I might not be able to do a bunch of deals, but I can do one. I may not be able to, because what's going to happen? A lot of people not going to have access to money. Why? Because the banks, they going to get stringent. They don't want to see everything now. Birth certificate, your last got their physical exam. They want to see your dental record. They going to want to see all of that. You want a loan? They gonna jump back. You walk in there. You want a loan?
What?
What? Matter of fact, why you even in the bank? Matter of fact, why you even calling us?
Stop playing.
Bro, it's getting ready to be like that. Because you remember how it was in 2008? But here's the flip side. So I don't want to be, I like the Daily Bread to be, I like it to be balanced. So we talked about all of things that you can, you know, you need to account for. Here's the silver lining. The silver lining. Here's the silver lining to all of this, right? If you have put away a little something, and you do have a little something, everything is on sale. Every single company, people like getting out the market, be smart, watch what's going on. But all of these companies, they have a 30% loss. That's just based on this health pandemic, right? Once that health pandemic resolves and everybody gets back to, you know, playing basketball again, going to school, going to college, doing the stuff that we used to doing. Once all of that happens, that same company, the fundamentals, this is what they say, the fundamentals of the company have not changed. What does that mean? That means they got good leadership. That means they have good market share. That means their net revenue is still good. It was strong. Now it's decreased because of all of this. And their stock has dropped by 40%. So what do you want to do? You want to be buying some stock. You want to be buying it. You want to wait because you don't want to get into it like immediately and it keep going down and down and down and down. But it's going to get to a point where it levels off, right? Buy it. Buy it when it levels off because when it comes back up. Because one thing about the stock, the housing market and the stock market, one thing you can know for sure with both of them. When it goes down, guess what? It's going to come back up. Might not be this year. But one thing that you can bank on that. If you buy that cruise, all four of the cruise lines, just be getting a gang of it right now. Bruh, in about a year, 2 years, you're getting 30% in 2 years. Just do the math. You put 10,000 in, you just made 3,000. You put 100,000, you just made 30,000. But you got to be able to be strategic. Them houses get ready to be cheap. Because some people, unfortunately, they're gonna get into trouble. It's a lot of people right now that they need to sell a house. Them houses are gonna be cheap. You're gonna be able to walk in like, hey, my credit's still good and I got a little bit of money. I'll take that. Yeah, I know you said 180, but I'll give you 150. Because I know it ain't a whole bunch of people coming through it. Definitely not to no open house. Right? So you got to position yourself so that way you can take advantage of times like this. This is when wealth is created. When stuff like this happens. 2008, all them houses people was walking away from them houses. Other people was buying them like pennies on the dollar. They was buying whole blocks. Give me 6 of them. Give me 6 houses and I'm going to wait 5 years. Them houses they was buying $10, $15, $20,000. Them houses went up to $150,000, $160,000. You only paid $20 for it. And you had a renter in it for the last 5 years. Now you're going to sell it for $140,000. You only paid $20 for it. The same thing is going to happen with this. The same exact thing is going to happen. So, when you listen to the Daily Bread and you listen to these different episodes and we have these different conversations, I want the takeaway to be like, man, I need to be thinking like that. I need to be more strategic with it because it's going to happen. Hopefully we'll get to a point where it starts to, like the guy was saying earlier on CNBC, we get to the point where it starts to turn, right? Because we got to get to a point where we get it to turn, like you get less infections or we got better control of it. So it's right now it's a health issue. But, once we get a handle on that, get people treated, people start to recover, the confidence comes back, people willing to go back out, people willing to start having meetings and, sporting events and concerts. Think about that, concerts. Think about if you're an artist. You put all your money out on this artist, you just dropped their album. Ain't nobody going to no concert. Nah, bro, we good. So now you got to start thinking a different type of way. Like, okay, maybe we do a live concert on the computer.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you log in, you pay, $15. I hope somebody ain't stealing my idea. Maybe be quiet.
Yep. Better be quiet. They listening.
They listen. All right, man, I'm just put it out there. You got a platform, right? You could tune in, you get the live concert from, you know, whoever.
Who in the Blowfish?
Who did the Blowfish, right? You pay your $15 to stream it, just like pay-per-view, right? So now you're doing pay-per-view for concerts. You put it on the surround sound, you're like, oh, that's what's up. Just something to think about. You know, $15 on a pay-per-view, that'll work. You put 1 million people on it, that's 15 million. Pay your expenses, walk away with 4 million net. But definitely need you all to be thinking like that. If you want to call into the show, if you got a comment, 678-381-1973. I definitely want to talk about this too, because we got good time. I definitely want to talk about this too. My experience that I had today. I was out. I printed some flyers for my mortgage business. If you had met, listen, you talk about this, man, you ain't say nothing about my new website. You ain't open your mouth.
Man, you
ain't open your mouth, man. Hold
you
up,
got a new website. You got a new website, man. I looked at that thing. That thing fire, bro. You need to tell them about that.
You know what, man?
Tell them about your website.
You know what, man? This is. I done joked about this a lot. This. What's your favorite song?
My favorite song?
Your favorite song?
Never would have made it.
Well, you better play that, because this your last production with the Daily Bread. How you gonna? Anyway, man, go out to the new website. Is just, man, it is
fire,
bruh. That mug is on, man. When I tell you, man, people been joining that email list.
That's what you want.
Man, I know, but I'm just like, because every time somebody joins the email list, I get like this alert.
The phone blowing up.
My phone is like, deep, deep. I look at it, I say, darn, somebody else joined. So the email list, and I put it out there, man. My goal, the company that I'm working with, my goal, I told them, I said, my goal is to get 1,000 people on the email list in the first 30 days. Now think about this, what we were just talking about, what this show has just been about. So now you have all these people that's what? At home. At home. So I was sitting down thinking, I said, you know what? This would be the time. Go to the website. Join the email list. Right? Get a discount. Get a discount on the next class. It's gonna be right online. Right? Join the webinar. Right? For a nominal fee. It ain't gonna be that crazy. Nominal fee for the price of lunch. Join the webinar for the price of lunch and learn what? The 5 components of credit. The 5 ways that you can, learn how to save during a crisis. The 5 ways to eliminate debt. Right? You're gonna learn all of that in the comfort of your own home, in the safety of your own home, just by turning on the computer. But anyway, you got to go to the website. The website is my name, JoaquinThompsonSenior.com. JoaquinThompsonSenior.com. And I know a lot of times people say, man, how you spell your name? Joaquin. How you spell your name, Joaquin?
They butcher you, bro.
Huh?
Did they butcher you?
Man, I done been Joaquin, Joaquin, Hot Queen, Hot King, Ho King, what else? Akeem. Now, like, how you get Akeem out of J? Akeem, King, Queen, Wak. I done been all of that. But you spell my name JoaQuin Thompson, THOMPSON, SR for senior.com. I mean, that's what, man, I feel proud just saying it like that. But the website, man, is doing work. I promise you, bro, it's doing work. And, shout out to Precision Printing. I ain't forget about you, dog. Precision Printing is, they printing new merchandise, because the only tab on the website that wasn't fully populated was the merchandise site. So we were waiting on the merchandise, but looked at the proofs last night. Precision Printing. If you have any printing needs, just Google precisionprinting.com. Go to precisionprinting.com. Job will take care of you. He'll make sure your stuff tight. He got an incredible operation over there when it comes to screen printing, embroidery, hats, the jackets, the vests. He showed me the whole catalog last night. Like he put the vest on, he had the jacket on. I was like, I just need t-shirts, dog. I'm just, I was just, and this is my guy, and I was just like, I just need the t-shirts, bro. So we got the new t-shirts. I'm not even gonna tell you it's gonna be. Hey, I'm not even gonna tell you what the t-shirts, what they say. The only thing I'm gonna say is this: the people that are on the email list are gonna get first dibs. That's all I'm gonna say. The people on the email list, that's gonna be the first perk or benefit of being on the email list. The people on the email list are gonna get first dibs, meaning they're gonna get a discount on the merch, and they're gonna have the option of buying the merch first before we do the launch. So we're gonna do a pre-launch with everybody that's logged on or joined the email. Did you join the email list? I ain't see your name on there.
I did not yet. Man, we don't have time to do stuff like that, man. We don't have time to do anything other than this.
I said 144 times I've been in this seat. I launched a new website. Tell this joker right here. This joker right here. He's sitting right there.
You got a beautiful video.
He don't do nothing but scroll.
Look, you got a beautiful video.
Beautiful video.
Yeah.
Man, that video is. Look, and took this joker
Who did that video?
right? And it's on my homepage.
Mm-hmm.
You would think he was like, bruh, the video is pop. Bruh, let me join the email list. You know what this joker just said?
I'm gonna tell you what I
Oh,
did.
nah, man, I ain't joined the email list.
Hold on.
Not yet.
Slow
When
your
I get
roll.
around to it.
So you go.
His video, this joker video,
Let me tell you what I
is
did.
on the homepage.
Let me tell you
When we
what I
sit in the
did.
car, the one where I'm sitting in the car, why? We're here with
Watch
Financial
this,
Liberty for Rocky Thompson. He the joker who talking. This joker.
But listen. Let me tell you
Man,
what I
don't,
did.
man.
Let me tell you what I did do. Though.
What you do? What you
What
do?
I did do.
What you do?
What I did do.
What you do?
And I hope there's
What
some
you do?
appreciation in here.
What you
I've been
do?
sharing it.
You been sharing it?
Yes, sir. Tell everybody to check it out.
Okay. Anyway, so back to what I
I
was
guarantee
talking
you some of them names on there, you don't know them because they came from me.
about. Man.
I guarantee.
Okay.
I guarantee.
Okay.
Come on now.
Okay.
Talk to me when you say something.
Okay. Okay. But anyway, go to the website, JoaquinThompsonSenior.com. Join the email list because you're gonna have first dibs on the merch. We're gonna have two different types of shirts. That's all I'm gonna say, man. The dude, PrecisionPrinting.com. If you go to Precision Printing or put Precision Printing, Atlanta or Precision Printing, Evansville, Georgia, make sure you got the right guy and make sure you got the right company because I don't want to be sending business to the wrong company. But if you got any print, and they ship, so don't use the excuse, I ain't in Atlanta. I'm in, where you in?
No matter where you at.
You in West Palm Beach? Okay, good. They ship everywhere. They ship all over the country. So go to the website, check it out, get your merchandise game on point. So we got the new shirts coming. But the reason I was talking about that is today I was out doing some promoting for my mortgage business. So for me, when it comes to promotion, I do guerrilla marketing. A lot of people relying on the website or they waiting on this or that. I'm like, people that got away from doing guerrilla marketing. I understand what's going on health-wise, but what a lot of people get away from is putting your feet on the pavement and going door to door. Not door to door on houses, but businesses. Hey, is it okay if I leave you a flyer? Sure, what you do? I'm a mortgage loan officer. If you know anybody looking to buy a house, refinance, or if they need money to purchase real estate investment, I'm your guy. I lend money. That's all I tell them. Well, what's the rates? And how much? I lend money. Well, how quick can you close? I lend money. That's it. I lend money. That's it. That's all you need to know. So if you know somebody and they say, okay, then you take it a step further. Now I'm about to add the cookie game back to it. Got the cookies already at home. Bake the cookies. I'm giving y'all game. This marketing game for all of our Black and African American owned businesses. Let me give you game. If you walk up to a person with a business card that don't know you, right, and you extend your hand and say, "Hey, I'm doing my new business. I shampoo. I got a shampoo shop," and you try to hand them a business card and they don't know you, what they do? I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? Especially now, right? But if you take this is a simple technique that you can use. I know it works because I use it. I'm using it now. I'm going to use it again. go get you some cookies, right? Preferably if you got a wholesale place in your area, or even Costco. You can go to Costco. So let's use Costco because everybody got access to Costco. Go to Costco, you know how Costco got them big boxes of cookies? Or some of them, they got the tub of cookies, right? He's like, there's no way I'm gonna eat all of them cookies. Okay. And you can make 100 cookies. Say you make 30 cookies, 40 cookies, right? You bake them off, let them cool, get you some cookie sleeves. Put the cookie in the sleeve. Just take the cookie off the pan, put it in the sleeve, put your business card on it, and take your business card to them cookie sleeves, right? Do 40 of those. You can go anywhere in your marketing area. And your marketing area should be no more than 1 mile or 2 miles from where your business is located. So if your business is over here, 1 mile or 2 miles from your business, and you just literally walk up and down the streets, in and out of the different businesses that you passing by every day, driving by them, but you get out on foot with that box of cookies. I guarantee you, you will give out all of those business cards and ain't nobody gonna be like, nah. You gonna have a couple people, because you always gonna have, what kind of cookie is that? It's chocolate chip. I don't eat oatmeal. Like, all right, well, it ain't for you. Boom. But I guarantee you do that. You give out 40 of them cards, you only need one person to call you back. Man, shoot, I need my hair shampooed. I heard you was shampooer. Yeah. I got this cookie, man. Some dude was giving out cookies. They don't even remember what you look like. They just remember getting the cookie. Man, some guy was giving out these cookies, man. He had his card on there. You shampoo? No, I don't shampoo hair. The young lady on it. Because I'm not going to be shampooing. You know, that's just me. I'm going to be politically correct. I don't shampoo. We got the young ladies over there. They do the shampooing, bro. So go over there and they'll shampoo and twist and do whatever you need to have done. But that's a technique. You can use that. So as I was out today doing my marketing for the mortgage business, ran into this young lady, man. Bruh, listen to this, black bookstore. That's like saying a white Jaguar or a white Rhino. I said a black-owned bookstore. Black-owned bookstore. So I went in and I was passing out my flyer, but when I was passing by, I didn't realize it was a bookstore until I saw all the books. And when I said, oh, shoot, I went off in there. Man, I ended up doing a Facebook Live in there, help her promote it. She was like, hey, we just opened in October. Because I know how hard it is to open a business and have it where it survives, right? 80% of all new businesses go out in the first year. 80% of all new businesses are closed in the first 12 months. I know how hard it is. And I know how hard it can be for us. And I'm not going to pull no punches. How hard we can be on each other. Right? I'm going to just be fully transparent. Because I've done it. I'm not telling you something I heard. I'm telling you I done been there when somebody walk up to you face to face and tell you, oh, I can get this cake at Publix. It'd be better if I go to Publix. And I'll be like, well, go on, go. Ain't nobody here gonna stop you. Ain't nobody here gonna jump on your back and tackle you. Go on and go over there. You know what I'm saying? Instead of saying, you know what? And we had a lot of customers that did that. You know what? I come here because I see you and your wife in here. And y'all look like me and my wife, or me and my kids. That's why we come here. That's why we don't go nowhere else. So you make a conscious decision. So I went in there, and most times with the book of the week, what I do is I only bring on books that what? Books I already read. But this week, I'm bringing you Instinct, Daily Readings, The Power to Unleash Your Inborn Drive by T.D. Jakes. Now this is the bestseller from T.D. Jakes. This book here, Instinct, it's been everywhere. He published it a couple years ago. And as I'm flipping through here, because a lot of times we want God to give us what? Confirmation, right? Like, man, I wonder. So I picked the book up. I told her, I was like, hey, you got to be doers of the word, right? Not just, hearers of the word, but you got to be doers of the word, right? Why do they have a chapter? What's the title of the chapter? I'm going to just give you one guess.
Do the work.
What you want confirmation? I said I went to a black-owned bookstore today.
Mm-hmm.
Just walked in. What do you think the name of the chapter is?
God said do it.
Daily Bread.
Go ahead now.
Daily Bread. Daily Bread. That was chapter 22. Daily Bread. And when I read it, listen what it says. Give us this day our daily bread. Matthew 6 and 11, King James Version. Listen to this. This is the New Living Translation with a New International Version. The NIV, right? It says, now he who supplies seed to the sower and bread for food will also supply and increase your store of seed and will enlarge the harvest of your righteousness. You will be enriched in every way so that you can be generous. Listen to this. You will be enriched in every way so that you can be generous on every occasion. And through us, your generosity will result in thanksgiving to God. That's right. You need a confirmation? Daily Bread. That's the title of the chapter. The title of the chapter is Daily Bread. And the prayer at the end of the chapter is, Jehovah Jireh, I believe your promise for strength for each day. I trust that all the resources I need are awaiting me, even inside of me. I will do everything in my power to follow my heart. I praise you forever. Amen. So the book of the week, T.D. Jakes, Instinct. The moral of the story, support black business. We're at the top of the hour. Make sure y'all check out the website, JoaquinThompson.com, JoaquinThompsonSenior.com. I guess I have to put that in there. Check out my son's website, Designed by JT, DesignedbyJT.com, DesignedbyJT.com. If you need people that need any type of graphic arts, right? Postcards, announcements, baby shower announcements. If you need, something for your business, you need a flyer. If you have an event, if you go to his website, he has multi-platinum artists that he's servicing. He has, stuff that he's doing with Nike. He has stuff that he's doing with different prominent athletes. He has stuff he's doing with colleges. If you go to the website, designedbyjt.com, go out there, check it out. Again, it don't matter where you're at. You could reach out to him. His phone number, all his contact information is on there. If you need something, he could email it to you. I mean, y'all pay by PayPal or Zelle or whatever, but it's no excuse for us not to support black business. So make sure y'all go out and check out both of those websites, JoaquinThompsonSenior.com. Join the email list, Designed by JT. Join his email list. Young brother, 27 years old, start his own business, trying to grow his own business. And if we support each other, right? Whenever we get to the point where we say, hey, you know what? I'm supporting us, right? No questions asked, but we're not going to tolerate mediocre service or mediocre performance. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about holding people accountable, but I'm going to support you, and I'm not going to be on posting nothing about, I ain't coming back no more, they messed up my order. Your order will be messed up at times. Things will happen in life as they do in business, right? Just like with this whole health thing is going on. Nobody planned for this to happen, but it happened. The same thing happens in black businesses. We make mistakes. It should have said R and we put T. We make mistakes, but that's fine. But let us make good on the mistake. Let us still continue to earn your business, right? Instead of us going the other way and spending our money with them, because if you spend it with us, guess what? You know where it's going. It's going back to you. It's going to circulate back to, okay, here's a kid we can help with a job. Here's a kid that we can give some business to. Hey, I need a new, screen printer. Hey, I need a t-shirt company, right? Precision printing. I need to support that brother's business. Like, he support my business. He knows somebody buying a house. He send them to me. He knows somebody need financial coaching. But it needs to be reciprocal too. That's the other thing that I want to, really stress with us. When we do business with each other, we need to make sure that we hold each other accountable, and reciprocate. If I'm, if you the shampoo man or the shampoo woman, and I do loans, then when you shampooing somebody's hair, and they like, girl, I sure need to get me you need to be like, oh, you need to call this guy, right here. He'll take care of you. He got the loans. He'll do everything, So if we get to the point where it's reciprocal, then we don't have to go looking for business. You will be getting referrals. You'll just get people being referred to you, you know, and we do good service, and you just treat people right. You don't even have to know all of the answers. People be asking me all these questions about lending. I'm like, I lend money. Well, what about how many partners? I lend money. And you're going to be happy. And I'm going to take care of you. And you're going to be happy. And I'm going to take care of you. Because I'm going to give you good customer service. Right? I'm going to say, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, thank you. And I'm going to take care of you. Right? And I'm going to end with this story. I had a young lady come to me 2 weeks ago. Filled out an application. She said, man, I really want to buy a house. I'm 66 years old. Listen to this number. I'm 66 years old, and I want to buy a house with a 30-year mortgage. I'm retired. I have my retirement income. I work 2 jobs. I got 2 little part-time jobs that I work. And, you know, I'm ready to buy another house. She's 66 years old. Did everything. And once we did everything, you know, we didn't get the number that she really anticipated that she wanted. It's like, oh man, it's gonna be hard to get it at this number. I said, you know what? I say, ma'am, you know what? I'm gonna make sure your realtor does everything that he can to find you a house at that price. Oh, they said there's no houses like here out there like that. Oh, there's no way. Gotta do it. Even if there's no houses on the market at that price point, guess what? Gotta do it. Gotta do it. Gotta do it. And I told her, I said, hey, go home and go to sleep. She was talking about she hadn't been able to sleep. She was worried. She tired of renting. I said, we're going to get you a house. We're gonna get you a house. And guess what we're doing? The guy called me today. Guess what? She getting ready to get a house at 66. Go on and play the music, man. You want to cut the show? Go on and play the music. Joaquin Thompson, Senior.com, designbyjt.com. TV show on AIB Network, channel 295 Comcast, Sunday nights, 9:30. Comcast, channel 295, AT&T UVerse, channel 6. If you don't have either one of those platforms, or if you're outside the state of Georgia, AIBTV.com/AIB everywhere. And maybe next week I'll have one of these. Maybe next week I'll have one of these. Man, you still doing that dance like that? Dang.